What's going on, guys? How's it going? Cool. Welcome to the sit-down comedy portion of the evening. I'll be your host. And I completely understand, by the way, that I look like I probably obtained my disability at a frat party. So nobody needs to bring that up. I feel like at least one person at every show I do feels the need to tell me that. One more quick thing. I'm sorry if I seem a little down. I just came here from Florida, actually. I live in Florida. It's been really rainy there. I came back here to the heat, and it's just kind of screwing with my allergies. My nose has been super runny, and I can't fucking feel my legs. It's really, it's really weird. It's a weird time for me. No, I live in Florida. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. So that's not like the sunshine and palm trees part. That's like the panhandle. So like South Georgia's adopted little brother. And I don't know if like everybody in the Deep South has like a mental disability, but I've had some really weird interactions over there. First example, I was at a bar the other day with a few of my friends, and this girl comes up to me and starts hitting on me. It's actually going really well at first, like we're opening up to each other a lot, and eventually we get close enough where she feels like close enough to ask me about my disability, which I'm super open about. So I told her I was born with spina bifida and I'm paralyzed from the calves down. And she was like, "Oh, so like does your your thing still I was like, "Does my what still?" She was like, your I was like, "My jump?" Girl, I literally just told you that I'm paralyzed from the calves down. So no, it doesn't work. Duh. So when I first moved to Tallahassee, I had to get set up with a new doctor in town, and so I went to this doctor, and she was asking me all these like just general health questions, making sure I was healthy in every aspect of my life. And one of the questions she asked me was if I ever sleepwalk. I was like, "Girl, I don't even awake walk." Like, I like to think about that, though. I like to think about the big man upstairs creating me, just deciding to fuck with me. This dude right here is only gonna walk when he doesn't know about it. I like to think about getting like blackout drunk with my friends at a bar one night, and waking up on my friend's couch the next day, like, "Dude, I hope I didn't do anything stupid last night. Bro, you were running laps around the Damn, I wish I remembered that." When I first moved to Tallahassee, I got close to this single mom at my apartment complex, and so we were like friends with benefits or whatever for like 10 months, and obviously after 10 months you get really close to somebody and you end up like opening up with them a lot. Eventually I found out that she had like a fetish or like a kink that I really wasn't prepared for. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna kind of go ahead and describe that. I was sitting up in bed one day, and she was behind me, kind of massaging me. The lights were dim. There was really romantic music playing, right? The mood was awesome. And then she leans over me and pulls one of my legs up like this. And she starts, I have like, fun fact about me, I have scars down here from like surgeries and stuff. She starts specifically rubbing the scars, like not my legs, not my feet, specifically the scars. And I don't know about you guys, but I happen to think that that's super weird. So I questioned her on it. I was like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" And she was like, "You've never had a foot massage before?" And I was like, "How the hell would I know?" Then she leans over and she whispers in my ear, she's like, "Hey, you want to help me fulfill a fantasy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess. What are we doing?" She's like, "All right, we're going to role play." I was like, "Okay, what are our roles?" And she was like, "All right, I've always had this fantasy. I'm going to be the judge and you're going to be like the defendant." And I was like, "All right, what's my sentence?" And I shit you guys not, like the funniest thing about this story is that she literally said this verbatim how I'm about to say it. She leans over and super seductively whispers in my ear, "I'm sentencing you to court-ordered physical therapy, mister." I was like, "What, dude?" Like, needless to say, that relationship is over now. And she's now with a guy that is much more disabled than me. Like, power wheelchair disabled. So what I've come to realize is I think I'm like a gateway fetish. Like, girls start with me, but then they graduate to like Stephen Hawking. But no, fast forward like 2 weeks after that, we were broken up or whatever. But like I said, she was a single mom. Fast forward 2 weeks, I realized that I had to go. I was actually going on another date. So I was going out to my car, leaving my apartment complex. I was putting my wheelchair in my car. And fun fact about me, I can walk like a little bit. So I was walking to my driver's side, and her son, the single mom's son, was out there watching me. And this is the first time he'd ever seen me walk at all. So as I'm getting in my car, he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, I didn't know that you could walk because you're a vegetable." I was like, dang, like I'd never been called a vegetable before, let alone by like an 8-year-old kid. So I didn't know how to react, but I pulled it off well. I was just like, yeah, fortunately I'm able to walk well enough to like walk around my apartment a little bit, walk to the front of my car, stuff like that. But the next thing he asked me, I was super not prepared for. The next thing he asked me, he goes, "So how come every time you come over, you always go into mommy's room?" And I was like, dang, how do I answer this to the son of a single mom without ruining his life? But I think I pulled that off well too. I was just like, well, you see, sometimes when mommy's in a really loving mood and daddy's not around to help her with it, she has to resort to using vegetables. He seemed cool with that answer, so I got in my car, went on my date. Little background on the date, I met this girl from Bumble. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the dating app Bumble. If you're not, it's a dating app where when you match with the other person, the female has to message first. So I matched with this girl, and she messaged me. Her first message to me said A7. And I was like, what? And yeah. I was like, what? And she was like, "Oh, sorry, I thought this was a vending machine because you're looking like a snack." I was like, "Girl, did you not happen to see these wheels? I'm a fucking food truck. Like, how dare you downgrade me to vending machine? That's almost offensive." But no, we went on this date, and we agreed to meet at a coffee shop. I got there a couple minutes before her, and so she comes up to me. She gets there a couple minutes later. She comes up to me, introduces herself. She's like, "Hey, my name's Sam." I was like, "Hey, I'm Joe. It's cool that your name's Sam because that's my brother's name, so it's going to be easy to remember." And she was like, "Oh, but I'm actually not your brother." I was like, "Yeah, like no shit. Like, literally, how disabled would I have to be to set up a date with a girl on Bumble in Florida and assume that my brother, who lives in Arizona, is just going to show up?" But no, one cool thing did come out of that date. I now have a food truck. It's called Just Vegetables. You guys should check it out. Thank you guys so much.